Oh, hey guys, it's Devin from Adventures with the V's. And boy, this camera tower is inconvenient. Tell you what. Alright, so today we are going to be talking about my favorite medium format film cameras. I'm getting ready to maybe let some of these go because I have kind of narrowed down. That one's 20% off. I've kind of narrowed down what I like and what I don't, and I'm going to let some of them go because you can't shoot them all. So we'll start by talking about my least favorite, which is this style, the folding style of medium format camera. They can be convenient. Fold up, fit in your jacket pocket, or if you are wearing some Jinkos, maybe even your back pocket. But these are arguably my least favorite cameras as far as the medium format goes. The reason I don't like these is they're strictly zone focus, so you have from 3 feet to 30 feet or infinity, and that is just about it. They don't have a great viewfinder on either one of them, and for me, these are my least favorite. When it comes to simplicity, I cannot recommend the little TLRs enough. So these are Yesika TLRs. I have A, B, and C, and then a tan A, and this one has film in it still. And these are like, if you're thinking you want to get into medium format and you are not afraid of a TLR, I highly recommend these. The downfall to these, at least in my opinion, is that like right now it's not very bright in here. Trying to focus is just about impossible. The way these Yesikas work is the A is the simplest. They have a sight glass on the rear for you to see what your counter's at. They no frills. They don't stop for you. They don't have like an automatic stop when you get to your next frame, anything like that. The spool moves to the bottom when you go to put the film in. Bring it just like that. I like these a lot, and I'll probably always have one of these because, one, they're pretty cheap. The Yesika A's you can get for $100. And they just work. With the B, like I said, I haven't really got to experience it. What you get with this one is you get an actual film counter, and then it would have an automatic stop when you got to your next frame as well. Now the Yesika C is the one that has more shutter speed. So this one has bulb 1, 2, 5, 10, all the way up to 300. Whereas your A's and B's only go from bulb 25 to 300. It looks like all of them are going to have the same 80 millimeter, and all of them have a 3.5. Essentially, as you go up in letters, the fancier they get. I did have a Yesika D that I sold to a buddy of mine for a nice price. That was even nicer than the B. It had a little better lens, it seemed like, was very clear, and maybe even went up to 1/500th of a second. And these also have a frame counter on them. They also have the automatic stop when you get to your next frame. All of them do have the little pop-up that helps you see just a little better. So, as far as simple TLRs go, these are it. You can get into these, you can get into some of the rollies fairly cheap. I like the Yesikas because I don't necessarily need a 2.8 TLR. If I do, you go to something like this. This is the Mamiya C330. So this one, I have put new seals in. So the nice thing about these is that they have the ability to go 120 or 220 format. Now that's not as big a deal these days because less and less people are shooting 220. I happen to have gotten lucky and found a ton for sale on the internet and also in a couple auctions, and it all shoots really nice. So I still like to have 220. This has parallax adjustment for your different lenses, so that's cool. You can throw on different viewfinders. It's back there. So in addition to the waist level, I have an eye level viewfinder that works really well for this as well. And then I have several different lenses. So medium format, so I have the 80mm, which is technically 40-ish. This is a 2.8, and this is the blue dot. So this is the one that kind of everyone talks about. Yeah, so this one has the frame counter. It also has the ability to do single or multi exposures. A lot of accessories, easy to shoot flash with. To change out lenses, you just pop that off, throw your next lens on, and then you lock it back in, and you're ready to go. As far as nice TLRs go, this is the route I would go. I probably wouldn't mess with a Rolly 2.8. You can get into these for $400, $500 easily, where the Rollies are like $800. They are a little heavier, a little bigger than some of the simple Yesika TLRs, but to me the trade-off is absolutely worth it. The next two are kind of my preferred medium format cameras for anything serious or anything that I want to be really nice, and those are, you can probably see it there, the Pentax 6.7 and the RB67. A lot of people like to compare these and say like, oh, should I get this, should I get that? They're not even comparable to me. Leaf shutter, non-leaf shutter. You can get a 90mm leaf shutter for this. It's expensive, and I've heard mixed reviews on it, so I won't. For me, if I want to use flash and I want to use a higher shutter speed, to do so, I just get out the RB67. She is a big girl. It's just a lot of camera. It doesn't bother me to do some walking around with it. I just throw the old hand in here and away I go. I do have this metered viewfinder on it. If I'm being honest, I don't think it works. I don't think it meters correctly. So I still have to carry a meter with it, but not a big deal. The RB67 is really cool because you can get Instax backs, like this Frankenstax back that I have. And this is the SQ1, and it works really nice and takes some really nice, hopefully you can see it, instant photos, instant film, but on a medium format. So yeah, it's just a very cool option to have. Not necessarily cheap, it's like another $400, but it is a super cool option to be able to maybe kind of test your shots and know what your setup looks like before you start shooting on film. So yeah, that is my kind of like, if I'm going to use flash or do something studio like, put it on a tripod or want to shoot Instax, this is the one I use. As far as my ultimate favorite, well, that's the Pentax 6.7. This is also a beast. It's a heavy camera. Sometimes I forget to turn off the meter on it, and that is annoying because then the battery dies, no doubt. When the battery dies, you just gotta throw in another one, but that's annoying. So I almost always have a extra battery for it. In fact, I just realized that this battery is dead. It just takes the little 4 LR44 batteries. It goes right there in the base. That can lock your camera up. I haven't really had any issues with it. But I love this camera. It shoots 220. It shoots 120. Does everything I need it to. And it's got its built-in meter. Nice and clear viewfinder. These two I will be keeping for a very long time. Admittedly, I've not had anything like the Mamiya 6 or Mamiya 7. They're expensive. They're crazy expensive. I think I found this one used for 600 bucks. You're not gonna believe me. This one I got at a thrift shop, or like a secondhand store here in town, and it's a really nice bag. And a couple other cameras were all like $100. This is definitely my all-time favorite. I don't see the need personally for something like a Mamiya 6. I have not messed with any 645 cameras. I know there's some people, Volandis, who really, I think he uses a Fuji 645. And there's a lot of people who really like those and who really like the Mamiya 6.7s. But I just have not felt the need to jump into it. I really like the 6x6 format that you get from these, and the 6x7 format that you get from these. And those are kind of my favorites. So 645 may be something I dabble with eventually, but I really think that I'll probably just be sticking with these two. I may get a Mamiya 6.6 eventually. It has the dual plane, or I don't. It's more like a normal rangefinder camera where the photo kind of comes into focus for you, and you have the cloud hovering thing, and I'm not a big rangefinder guy, but this is just a big ass SLR. That's all it is, obviously. And for me, this is the easiest one to use. Beginner, just getting into medium format, all day. Get these all day. Decide if you like this format, and decide if you like the TLRs, and then just try and put your hands on everything that you can. If you've got a buddy that shoots a Bronica, shoot their Bronica. My friend Tay has a Bronica. That thing is freaking awesome. It's like 500 bucks. Looks really cool. If you can't afford this, maybe try and get like a Kiev 6C. They have their own issues. This one sometimes does goofy spacing things. They're old, you know. They just do what they do. So my advice is don't just jump into something because I like it. Go out and shoot it. But man, for me, I've made some killer photos with this. Thank you guys for tuning in. I appreciate you, and I hope you tune in for the next one.